All right, Wednesday, June 13th, Sportsbook. Betting Insight today, Pauly and Teddy, SBR picks at Real Sportsbook at Teddy_Covers on Twitter. Redskins team preview today. And we'll also get to the Nationals and the Yankees play of the day before we get out of here. Shot clock as well, 24 hours away. World Cup and U.S. Open underway. Great opportunity to make some money with golf as well. A great field at Shinnecock. And remember what happened in 2004. 4 under won the tournament the last time it was here. And I think the average score on Sunday was 78. And good odds there coming up. Bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. As always, you can be part of the chat. Any questions you want, fire away. Play of the day winner, got over Colorado, Philadelphia. Total was 7.5, bet down to 7. And Phillies run line, also a bad beat. 5-1 Phillies in the ninth. 5 straight singles for the Rockies off Garcia to start the inning. Phillies have to hold on. They have to win 5-4. Nola is the real deal. Now I think that's 10-3 to the under so far on the season.
Yeah, 10-3 to the under, but one of those unders did not come last night. Play of the day winner here on the show, and of course, lucky, no question about it. When it's 5-1 in the ninth, you don't expect to cash the over 7.5 tickets, but all the money came on the under in that ball game. When you see the ninth inning meltdown, and it wasn't even hard hits, it was 5 singles. 5 singles can do you in, and it did for under bettors and Phillies run line bettors last night. Certainly bad bets either way. If you had the side, minus the 1.5, or if you had the total, my condolences for that one.
Yeah, that's a horrible beat with the run line. There's a lot of this shenanigans here with the bullpens lately. Bad for the books, one side, and then the rest totals. Nats, Yankees under 9.5 down to 9. 3-0 final. Sabathia pitched well. Nationals really struggling to hit right now. Astros, A's over 8 up to 8.5 just got there. Red Sox over 9 to 9.5. That got there as well. 12-1 when Rodriguez starts. Number 1 pitcher in ROI in all of baseball. They continue to crush it when he's on the mound. 12-1 when he starts. 7-7 when Sales start. And the White Sox took money. 140 down to 120. Shields pitched well. They finally beat the Indians.
So let's talk about the concept of Sale being 7-7, or the Red Sox being 7-7 in Sale starts, and yet Rodriguez is the most profitable pitcher in all of baseball. How does that happen? What's the concept behind the ace not producing a profit and the less than ace producing an enormous profit? Here's the concept, all right? Red Sox, good team, good hitting team. When Sale's there on the hill, the number 1 starter, he's matched up against opposing aces. You're getting these relative pitchers duels. When Rodriguez is going, it's other teams, let's call it later in the rotation. It's not ace versus ace. It's Red Sox 4th or 5th starter versus opposing teams' 4th or 5th starter. And you know what? When Boston is playing other teams' lesser starters, they're destroying them right now. Hence, the success for Rodriguez so far this season has everything to do with Boston's offensive production with him on the hill, which has everything to do with the starters that he's been matched up against. That's why you make more money backing Eduardo Rodriguez than you have backing Chris Sale this season, despite the fact that Sale, the better pitcher with the better numbers, the matchups have worked in Rodriguez's favor. And once again, last night, the books, they didn't enjoy the result there, with the total getting bet up and cashing the over bet.
Top 5 ROI pitchers. The list is nuts. It's Chris Stratton. It's Mike Leake. It's Mike Fiers. And leading the way is Rodriguez. 1 bad bet. Padres, Cardinals over 8 up to 8.5. 4-2 final. Friars playing well. There's another dog. If they win today, that's I think that'd be 6 straight series that they've won if they can get it done today, although they're big dogs against Luke Weaver. The wait is over. Monmouth Park ready to go tomorrow. New Jersey. Finally, the governor signed the bill on Monday. That passed with a vote 73-0. Incredible. I know Lesniak wasn't happy that they had to wait a month after the Supreme Court came out with their ruling. So they are number 2 as Delaware beat them. Kind of a bad beat as well. They couldn't get the NBA Finals or Stanley Cup, and he didn't have all those people running around during the Belmont either.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be able to open the sports books and watch them sit empty for the majority of June and July. Of course, once football season starts, it's another story entirely. But when you're talking about the lighter betting months of the year, July's probably number 1, June's probably number 2, although this year, with World Cup, that could change significantly. Here's a quote from New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy. Quote, "Today, we're finally making the dream. We're living the dream, Pauly. Making the dream of legalized sports betting a reality for New Jersey. I'm thrilled to sign Assembly Bill 4111 because it means our casinos in Atlantic City and our racetracks throughout our state can attract new business and new fans, boosting their own long-term financial prospects. It's the right move for New Jersey and will strengthen our economy. Betting begins at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow morning on Thursday at Monmouth Park in New Jersey. But worth noting to start, all bets must be placed in person. Mobile sports betting is legal under the new legislation, will be available in the future somewhere down the line, but not yet. Right now, you have to be in the sportsbook to get your wager down, and that obviously will put a real cap on their handle. Worth noting, full menu of betting options for New Jersey, but they're doing the thing like Nevada did back in the day. No betting on any of the Jersey schools. No Rutgers betting in New Jersey. No Seton Hall betting in New Jersey. They did that in Nevada for a long time, and it ended up hurting us. They said, why aren't you taking bets on your own teams? They said, all right, taking bets on our own teams isn't that big of a deal. At some point, I would think Jersey will take bets on Rutgers and Seton Hall, but going in, no wagering on the New Jersey teams in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah,
collegiate
in high
teams.
school, someone tell Bill Bradley that too. That's good information there with these nuts who think you can bet on AAU and high school sports and all that's other business. Ridiculous. Big game breakdown. Good series continues. Nationals and the Yankees. Yankees at home, $1.90, 9.5 the total, under -120. Sonny Gray against Fedde. He's a replacement starter with Strasburg and Hellickson on the DL now. Early money for the dog and under. And the Nationals struggling to hit. They've been shut out back-to-back games. Harper left with an injury. They did get Murphy back finally, although he went 0 for 4. So they're scuffling right now, and you saw it as CeCe shut him down. He pitched well, and then the bullpen took over.
Yeah, I mean, story for last night for Washington was Bryce Harper. Harper got on base 4 times. 2 of them were via hit by pitch. And there, he had to leave the game after the second one. Hit by Sabathia, then hit by Betances after that. Hit his big toe. There were some concerns that he might miss today's game. The quotes following the game said, Harper, I'm fine, just a little nicked up. I should be good to go for tomorrow. So Washington is expected to have their biggest bat into the lineup. But you're right about that Nats lineup being cold. They get Daniel Murphy back, and Daniel Murphy is a huge bat for that team. Don't underestimate how much he means to the Nationals when he gets going. Last night, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts in his season debut. He missed the first 63 games of the season coming off right knee surgery. But you are right about that Nats offense. They get Murphy back. Harper, a little bit banged up. What is it? 12? They've been shut out now back-to-back games. That's only the 12th time that's happened since moving from Montreal back in 2005. 19 innings the Nats haven't played at a run. But maybe they have a chance today against Sonny Gray, who coming off a really good road trip, Pauly. But Sonny Gray is certainly a guy who has had more than his fair share of struggles. A, pitching in big games, and B, pitching in this venue.
Well, he's been a disappointment, no doubt about it. Major disappointment since they acquired him in the trade. He's up and down, and when you see when he pitches against good teams. How about this? Against teams with losing records, he's 3-0 with a 1.80. But against teams with a winning record, he's 1-4 with a 7.61 in 5 outings. He made 2 starts for the A's against the Nats. He allowed 6 runs on 10 hits in 14 innings. You don't know what you're going to get out of this guy, but certainly those numbers cause for concern when he's going against a good team. But it's hard, when you're looking at the Nationals, if you want to back the Nats, it's a dynamite Yankees offense. And Didi hit a couple of bombs. If you see if Fedde can slow him down as well, I don't like how the Nats are playing. But you don't know what you're going to get out of Sonny Gray as well. So with Sanchino and Stanton and Judge and Gregorius, Yankees are top 5 in ROI. They're killing it right now.
Sure. And of course, Gray coming off a great road trip. He had 2 starts. I think he pitched 14 innings, gave up a combined 1 run. But he has not pitched well in the Bronx. And we talk about the Nationals pitching right here with Fedde. He's a former first-round draft choice out of Nevada, Reno. Our friends to the north. Injured. He had Tommy John surgery, came back in the second half of 2015, worked his way up in 16 and 17. He's a middle of the rotation guy at the upside. He's not a front of the rotation guy. His fastball in the low 90s. He's got a solid secondary arsenal, and supposedly his command and control are pretty good. Heavy ground ball generator, but he does get lit up on days where the fastball location is off. And, we've seen that. 4 career starts for the Nats, 0-2 with an 8.14 ERA. We'll get back to this game when it comes to play of the daytime.
All right, chat. Nick says he's got some great U.S. Open bets locked in. I'd love to hear him, Nick. Keep it coming. I love the props. Will there be a hole-in-one? No, -115. Lowest round, 65.5. Will Tiger make the cut? Yes, -$4. Will he finish top 10 plus 225? Will there be a playoff? No, -$4. Lowest round by Tiger, over under 69 at the Westgate. Will Tiger, Spieth, DJ, Rory, or Thomas win? Yes is plus 250. Will DJ make the cut? Yes, -$8. Phil -310. Tiger to finish top 5. They do a great job with all the props at the Westgate and a ton of stuff to bet on. So this thing's wide open with the U.S. Open. Going to be a lot of fun. And DJ, current form, coming off the win and closed with an eagle on 18. And 2 weeks ago, Tiger was horrendous with the putter. A lot of people think Spieth's going to struggle and think he could miss the cut. Talk to 4 experts who say fade Spieth. Other people say fade Tiger in this event. You're only going to see maybe 15-mile-per-hour winds on Thursday, and then the winds should settle down. But the last time the Open was here at Shinnecock in 2004, all hell broke loose. Goosen won 4 under. But what happened on Sunday, especially on number 7, with that was like putting on glass, and the players were pissed off.
Putting on grass or putting on glass, I don't sink them either way, Pauly. Looking at the chat, Anamarick, good morning, you bastards. I appreciate that. Little Pauly love from Anamarick. Very good. Andrew, good job with the best bets recently. Let's keep it rolling. We do our best. We have a limited number of things we can use on the show because we like to use with the best bet something we'd actually talked about and not something random. So we keep it fairly narrow, but appreciate the comment, and we'll do our best to keep it rolling. Tomarino tomorrow. I'm surprised Houston has the same odds to win the AL as Boston or New York. The Astros rotation is much better, and they should improve the bullpen at the deadline. That being said, right now the Astros bullpen is clearly the weakest of the 3, hence the lines being where they are. And one more, everyone will go to make a bet in person, wait in line for an hour, and then go back to betting online at Heritage. Yeah, when you see the revenue projections, when you see the fact that you have to drive to the sportsbook, park, go in, make your wager, come out, drive back home, you can understand that in the short term, those with who have been betting offshore are not necessarily going to be attracted or forced to immediately start betting legally. The offshore books will still be doing just fine in New Jersey and elsewhere, at least for the time being.
No one's betting now. That's what Bill Bradley says. Nobody bets. So this is going to change everything. Okay, very good. Money. Redskins, win total 7. 7-9 last year straight up, 7-9 ATS, 8-7 and 1 to the under. -4 in the turnover margin. And the big news, Cousins gone. It's Alex Smith now. The big additions, Smith, Skandrick, and Paul Richardson, who I like, coming over for Seattle. Cousins gone, Fuller gone, Breland gone. Not a lot to like with this roster. Gruden maybe on the hot seat. Also, mainstream stats, ugly. 28th running the ball, 21st total defense, dead last run defense. I don't like this roster at all, and we'll see now. I'm excited about Cousins to Minnesota because he has some legitimate weapons to work with, and the Vikings wrapped up a 12-1 finish to the season with Keenum. What can Cousins do? But now, what will they do with Alex Smith? And the fact you can't really in love with who's going to run the ball too. With you, Fat Rob, you got Pete Ryan, you got Thompson, you drafted Geis out of LSU, who kept sliding and was supposed to be a first-round pick. So a lot of question marks about this Redskin team.
Geis will run the football, and I think he'll do just fine. He may make Jacksonville fans wish that they'd have waited one more year before they drafted Fournette at the top of the first. I think Geis is every bit as good, and Washington got him much, much later in the draft. We talk about this Redskins team, and I don't think there's any question. It's a make or break year for Jay Gruden. I mean, you talk about the hottest seats in the NFL. Hugh Jackson in Cleveland's got a hot seat. Vance Joseph in Denver's got a hot seat. Dirk Cutter in Tampa's got a hot seat. Maybe Adam Gase in Miami or Bill O'Brien in Houston. I don't think any of them are hotter than this seat. The Redskins don't win this year, Jay Gruden is gone. If the Redskins win this year, they'll get a contract extension. It's just that simple. when we talk about last year for the Redskins, and a ton of disappointments for Washington, underachievers in a number of different ways. Of course, they didn't finish in last place because they had the Giants to beat up on a little bit. But the key issue for this team last year, injuries, Pauly, and not just a couple,
Yep.
not just a bunch. They were one of the most injury-riddled teams in the NFL. Only the Texans and the Chargers can make a case for being worse in the injury spots than the Washington Redskins. I mean, they lost key players all over the place on both sides of the football. Gruden, 28, 35, and 1 during his Redskins career. You better hope this team stays healthy or he'll be gone. Of course, Matt Cavanaugh back for his second year as offense coordinator. They missed Sean McVay a lot last year with his play calling. Greg Manusky back with his second year as the defense coordinator. Only the second time in the last 5 years that Gruden bought his DC back. And of course, with Manusky comes a whole bunch of talent that got hurt last year, like Ryan Kerrigan, who you see in the photo. If you're looking at the replay here, Kerrigan, one of many impact Redskins on the defensive side of the football that were hurt last year and will need to be healthy this year if Washington's going to improve and go over that win total of 7.
Yeah, and I agree what you have in the write-up, too. It's dangerous to assume that Reed and these guys can stay healthy, who are injury-prone, and he had weapons in Kansas City. He won games, but now again, I'm concerned about who he's throwing to with Alex Smith, whether it's going to be Richardson, Dotson being likely their number one, and if Crowder, if you can trust some of these guys, and if they can move the ball on offense.
Well, I mean, look, when we talk about Alex Smith, he's a quarterback who people love to hate him. The one thing that and throughout, and the former number 1 overall pick, undefeated season at Utah under Urban Meyer back in the day, and has never lived up to expectations at the NFL level, meaning he hasn't been a superstar, but he's been a solid quarterback. He's taken teams to the playoffs repeatedly, in Kansas City, and he doesn't make a ton of mistakes. Now, Washington wasn't a bad turnover team last year. What was it? 23 takeaways, 27 giveaways, a -4 margin. It wasn't like they turned the ball over left and right. But with Alex Smith behind center, it's check down Charlie. And that's odd when you talk about a team that has some playmakers at receiver. Doxton can play when healthy. Certainly Paul Richardson has a deep speed. Smith doesn't air it out a lot, but the key is he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I think they'll be every bit as coherent on offense as they were with Kirk Cousins behind center. Cousins was a great comeback kid. Cousins fell behind a lot. Alex Smith doesn't seem to make the same level of mistakes to fall behind to force the comebacks. From a QB standpoint, grading the offseason for Washington as pretty much neutral, maybe down a little bit, not down a lot between Kirk Cousins and Alex Smith.
NFC East plays the AFC South. In the NFC South, 2 extra games at Arizona and Green Bay at home. It's a tough division. They're probably the 3rd or 4th best team in that division. Who knows with the Giants and Eli Manning. They have a chance to get out of the gates okay at Arizona, and then you have Indy and Green Bay at home. I don't want my bye week 4. That's odd. And then off the bye, it's at New Orleans, Carolina, and Dallas. So that's tough as well. Thoughts on the schedule and more on the defense with what they have coming back?
Well, look, I mean, when you look at the Redskins' schedule, this is a team that, because they play the other teams in the the NFC East, they're all lined higher than there. Philly's lined as a Super Bowl contender. Dallas is lined as a playoff team. The Giants have gotten some love. So what you see from the Redskins, they're facing the toughest schedule in the division, which isn't fair necessarily for a team that's been as poor as they are. And of course, the Giants have a much easier go of it when it comes to the 2 extra games. But based on this year's win totals, the Redskins have the toughest slate in the NFC East. Now, it's not by a huge margin, but you're right about the opportunity to get some early momentum. At Arizona, Indy, the Green Bay game, at New Orleans, Carolina, and Dallas, then home. So they play 4 of their first 6 at home. One of the road games is very winnable. Then at the Giants after that. So there's room for the Redskins to get off to a decent start. If they do, they go 4-3, 5-2 out of the gate. They're going to go over the 7-win total. The possibilities exist for Washington in that regard. After all, it's been a great year for all the DC sports teams so far, hasn't it, Pauly?
Well, yeah, one good year. Yeah, Capitals finally do it. All right, turn on the shot clock, fire it up. Less than 24 hours away. Russia at home. The host countries usually do well. So we'll see in their first match against, I think it's Saudi Arabia. And then we got 3 matches Friday. I'm excited for the World Cup. Hey, we finally won something in soccer as we get the games in 2026 along with Mexico and Canada. We'll have host 60 of the 80 matches, including the knockout stage on the way up, and the championship will be MetLife in New Jersey. So big news there, but I know it's not as sexy because the USA isn't in it, but people go crazy for this stuff. I understand why, and it's a full month in the slow time of year to get us through football, and a great betting opportunity as well. I know some people like Belgium, Croatia. I like Russia to advance from Group A 2-1. I think the corruption will be off the charts with Russia as they can advance. So I'll tell you, the astronomical odds on Brazil, Germany, Spain, and these teams to advance are crazy. 2,400 on some of these squads as well. And Spain fired their coach today, right before the thing starts. A lot to talk about with the World Cup, and we'll do more on it tomorrow, but I can't wait.
Yeah, and then this is the question. How excited are you about the World Cup? That's what the shot clock we're asking. And the answer is I'm excited about it. I'm not crazy. I'm not a World Cup nut. I'm not going to go paint my face and hang out in some bar and sing songs and chants for a couple hours. But you're right about it being the slow time of year for sports bettors. You're right about being fun and exciting action. And, of course, with the three-way betting, there's all kinds of options for bettors out there. Do I go nuts during World Cup? No, I don't. Will I get in action on some of this stuff? I probably will, Pauly. So, am I excited about World Cup? Thumbs up. We'll give it a 1.5 thumbs up. I'm not crazy, but it's, yeah, I'm excited about World Cup, at least a little bit.
Checking in on the chat, Bill says Putin has his first match in his pocket. I agree with that. I think you're not going to get a call going against Russia in this tournament. Brian Myers, you can win with Alex Smith. Well, just like you can win regular season games, but the guy's been to one championship game, and they could have locked him in the stadium, and they weren't going to score in overtime against the Giants. He was horrible in that game. Also has issues in the playoffs, and if he falls behind, they are cooked. So how about Jay Gruden saying he needs to win immediately? That's big too, and the pressure's going to be on as well when Cousins wins big with the Vikings this year too. A couple thoughts on the chat as well, Tom Marino's concerned about his age, and he's used his legs a lot. That's the one thing, too. If you watch Kansas City and Alex Smith, if the first option isn't there, he takes off and runs. Fair point.
Yeah, Sergio, we got some good U.S. Open stuff. Nick Dial, Sergio Garcia to miss the cut at plus 200. 3 picks to win the entire tournament. Justin Rose, Heinrich Stenson, and Brooks Coppola. Appreciate the picks. Nick, any opinion on any of those, Pauly?
I don't know who Coppola is. Brooks Koepka. Yes, those are good picks. I agree with that. I have like 8 or 9 tickets. I have Stenson as well. I took a shot with Harmon at 100-1. Schauffele, I think Schauffele is going to win a major. Some other guys, I know Brady Cannon says fade Tiger Woods in all his matchups. Fade Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth could miss the cut. So talking to a lot of golf experts, that's been the consensus on a lot of picks too. And opportunity to be good, make some money on this as well. I got like 9 tickets laying around. All right, money time, play of the day. Back to the Nats and the Yankees. I don't trust Gray, and I sure don't want Fedde. You know where we're going, Teddy. Over 9.5. Little money to the under as we touched at the top. Let's go over. Betting number 925, 926. Yankees, Nats over 9.5. Let's keep it going with the play of the day. Tomorrow, more NFL. The Chicago Bears now. Great news. Fox is out. No more 1970s football. See if they can fix that offense. They got weapons for Trubisky, and we'll get to the World Cup preview. All the fun props you can bet to advance, to win the group. Most goals on the first matches Thursday, Friday, and there's 4 matches Saturday. One of them goes at 3 o'clock Pacific, our time in the morning. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the chat. We'll talk to you tomorrow on a fun month, fun couple weeks here on Sportsbet. Betting Insight today on SBRpicks.com. I'm at Real Sports, but he's at Teddy_Covers on Twitter. Thanks to the crew.